Yo, it's JB the Cowboy fan, and yes, sir, I'm back with another one. Yes, sir. But I want to speak on the latest. Shout out to my subscribers. Appreciate y'all. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I'm gonna get into the latest talk with what's going on with Stephen Jones said about the salary cap and how it's gonna be tight for next year. See, but my thing is, Stephen Jones already spoke about this, and Jerry Jones spoke about this earlier this year, talking about how the salary cap they signed Dak Prescott, how it's going to be tight to get other free agents. But it seems like now, it's like the Dak fanboys hating on Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones because they signed Dak to that large contract. And they ain't getting shit on their ROI. Jerry Jones and Steve Jones ain't getting shit. They in the negative on ROI with Dak Prescott. So all the blame and the hate is going to Stephen Jones. Now he coming out. But I want to get back to what he said a couple years ago, really about the salary cap. Let's get into a little bit what he was saying about it then. Let's see where I was at. Let's just start right there.
Make a good decision.
You feel confident with how much you liked your roster this past year that you guys can have just good roster?
Yeah, I think, obviously we'll have to make some tough decisions. And, I mean, all the players that we have up for contract, we'd like to keep them all. But, the salary cap's a real thing. And certainly as we move forward, you have a quarterback, and every team experiences that has a franchise quarterback that they now paid him their second contract. And, we just have to make some decisions and some tough ones. But I think the ones, unfortunately, if we lose a couple of good players, and hopefully we'll continue to do a good job with our drafting process and then look for value in free agency so we can draft the way we've historically drafted, which is not on a need basis, but on a best player available basis.
You expect Murray Cooper to be on the roster in 2023?
It's too early for me to address that yet. I mean, we're continuing to have conversations. A lot of things affect that in terms of, we obviously been so fortunate to have, those three great receivers on our roster. And obviously that's hard.
What three great receivers? So we're talking about Dak Prescott had Amari Cooper. He had C.D. Lamb. Yeah, he had Randall Cobb. I think that was 2019, so we're talking about 2022. Yeah, Cedric Wilson, Michael Gallup, but they continue to say they never put no talent around Dak Prescott.
To keep doing, under a salary cap. And certainly, Sed did a really nice job for us, and he's up. So, there's some moving parts to that we'll have to continue to massage as we move forward.
Not being vaccinated, does that have any impact on the decision you guys make going forward?
No.
I think it's a week like this to kind of show where you lean in some of those decisions that are being made this offseason.
I think it's a little early, in my opinion. I mean, you come here with an agenda wanting to get a lot done. I mean, we're going to meet with, between Adam and myself, and Mickey Loomis and Will and Coach. I mean, I bet we're going to meet with over 24 agents. So, but still, I think people are, they're just feeling it out. So, and you come hoping you might get some things done, but usually we're still a little early yet.
You have to make a decision. You start talking about March 22nd.
No, I'll get that for you. I don't have the date right at my fingertips right now. Get that March 20th.
Something like that. So you got to make that. So that's part of it. You ask. I mean, they could. You guys.
Like I said, I don't want to address any of that in terms of the details of anybody's contract or who's going to be here and who's not going to be here. I mean, that's a work in progress for us right now.
With the market wise, is that the same?
Same thing. I mean, we go through every player on our roster, and I know you guys want to may target guys that you think we may be looking at, and usually those are the guys who are making a lot of money, and so that's why that comes with making money. I mean, unfortunately, in this league is the value there, and certainly we'll work through that. We're talking about two great football players we're talking about right there, Marcus Lawrence and Amari Cooper,
and they end up giving up Amari Cooper. See, they talking about the salary cap. They've been talking about the salary cap and saying how tight it was. Well, see, I think it's just a lot of Dak fanboys. They don't care. They bypass what they be talking about the salary cap and what they can do and what they can't do. They should be able to sign this player. They just say sign anybody. Like just overextended. They've been overextended and now they in a fucked up place. He talking about this a couple years ago.
and I hold them up here in terms of what we think about them, but we also have to put the full 53-man roster together.
It's been several years since at this time of year you weren't thinking about Dak's contract, or at least weren't able to negotiate it. How does that change what this week looks
Well,
like?
y'all are bored. In all seriousness, it's super nice, not to have to be focused on just him. And I'm sure he feels the same way that the spotlight's not on him.
Yeah, because he can't deal with the
spotlight.
spotlight.
To look at the bigger picture of, what we're going to do with this roster. And as you know, we really felt good about our roster this year, and feel that we can have another good roster again. But we're going to have to massage this, and we're not going to be able to keep everybody. And we're going to have to be efficient in free agency, and we're going to have to be efficient in the draft.
They've been saying this.
The Rams from the Super Bowl doing it the way they did it. It changes your guys' perspective on any of that stuff.
There's a lot of different ways to do things, and certainly hats off to them. I mean, they had a hell of a year and win a Super Bowl, and certainly, they went about it in a way that's pushing a lot of chips out there. So, there's some forms of all of this, that we'll probably decide where we want to be. Feel like we've got a lot of good young players on this football team, and you don't want to just be starting over, if you will. If we did too much, because you can obviously, we could do some things that would allow us to keep most of our guys if we wanted to push it all out. But we don't have a much bigger problem
Come the following year.
next year and the year after that.
That's right. So that's the point what he was saying back then. Huh? They've been talking about this, but yet still sign Dak Prescott. Because see, to me, all this shit they're coming up blaming Jerry Jones, and especially now that Stephen Jones said that, it's a way to hide Dak Prescott. Because Dak Prescott hasn't performed. He hasn't performed when he got his second contract. He hasn't did shit when he got this recent contract. He either get hurt or he underperforms and he ain't did shit. But see, the thing is, that fanboys think he top 5 elite. But now when they telling him he's going to have to be the one to step up, it's been showing that he hasn't been the one to step up, that they keep needing to add stuff around him. But Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones been saying, yo, bro, here goes Jerry Jones right here. This was early part of this year. Okay, just so we're clear. Yes, we can win with that. I'm looking at having less supporting cast around him than he's had at any time in his career. He's going to have to make up for that and some, because we haven't gotten to games we want to be playing in. Meaning, look, he's going to have to step his game up. Dak Prescott is going to have to step his game because they've been telling him he's not going to be able to get the weapons that he needs around him. But yet, Dak fanboys wanted Dak to get paid. And Dak, he wanted to be the highest paid player, which Jerry Jones made him. The highest fucking player, highest paid player in history. Not just this year. Not just quarterback, but player, period. And what does he do? And all we hear from Dak fanboys, he don't have a running game. He don't have this. He don't have that. Well, he can't get it. He can't have it. And we definitely not going to have it in 2025. And he's going to have to do it in the future. He was talking about this year and the future with less of a supporting cast. So it's on Dak to show and prove. So I don't understand why they throwing stones at Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones about the salary cap. You should already understand and know the deal with that. Huh? What kind of supporting cast can we have around Dak? I know you understand that. Do our fans, do Dak fanboys know that Dak is going to have less of a supporting cast than his career has allowed him to have up until now? Miss me with that? See, to me, this is all about Dak being exposed. See, this is all about Dak being exposed as being the one that have uh, to account for the deficiencies we have on offense and defense being paid all that money. And he can't do it. Once again, everybody's the scapegoat except for Dak Prescott. Stephen Jones, Cowboys expect really tight 2025 NFL free agency due to salary cap. The Dallas Cowboys face a wave of criticism for their lack of spending in free agency last season, but he already spoke about why. Stephen Jones already spoke about why, so he's been consistent. But it sounds like the team's philosophy won't change after the 2024 campaign. How can it change? Cowboys Executive Vice President Stephen Jones told reporters outside of the NFL League meetings on Wednesday that the team is likely to limit its spending once again this year. I think we knew we were going to have a challenge in 2025, Jones said. It's going to be really, really tight. We still have some money left over from some guys who are not here today, and we're going to have some other guys that won't be here in the future that you're still going to have their cap count. Yeah. So I think we got like 12 or 13 free agents that could possibly be gone next season. And there's some good players that we're going to be missing that's going to be free agents that could possibly be gone. So how are we going to make up for missing all those players, possibly out of the 13 or 14 that are free agents that's going to be leaving? I bet you about 5 or 6 of them going to be gone. Then we have a couple players under the salary cap that's taking up some of the salary cap too. So basically, what it's all boiling down to me is that these Dak fanboys don't want to give the accountability on Dak Prescott for not performing, for being signed to that deal, because they expect you to sign that type of money that you're gonna cover the deficiencies on your offense and your defense. You got to step up because you ain't gonna be able to get those players. The Cowboys currently have $9.2 million in dead cap space for 2025, and they only have like $23 million in the positive. So if you take that negative, that's a negative 920 from the 23. That's what about what? We're looking at 23 million, 9 million. We're looking at 13. So they start basically like 12 something, 13 million just with their cap. They got a $13 million cap space. But that number is expected to rise with the potential departures of veteran players like Zach Martin, which I talked about in my other video, and DeMarcus Lawrence. Dallas will need to create cap space this offseason by restructuring contracts or trading and cutting players. But it still ain't going to give them enough. Depending on the type of players they can get back from the players that leave or they cut, who they going to get? You know what I'm saying? Are they going to get number ones? Because Dak Prescott need number ones across the board. He need a number one O-line, and the backups to the O-line need to be number ones. He need 2 number one running backs, and the backup to them running backs got to be number ones. He need a number one defensive line, and the backup to those defensive linemen, they got to be number ones. The secondary of the defensive line and the linebackers, they got to be number ones, and their backups got to be number ones. Tight ends, the 1 and 2 tight ends got to be number ones, and their backups got to be number one. For Dak to succeed, man, our team gonna be in shambles, bro. We're always working behind the curtains and thinking about those types of things, Jones said about offseason decision making. Everything we're doing right now and how it affects next year. The Cowboys' tight pockets have come back to bite them as they're suffering from a lack of talent in multiple positions amid their disappointing 5-8 season. Star quarterback Dak Prescott, who has signed a 4-year contract extension worth $240 million this past offseason, suffered a hamstring injury in Week 9 that requires season-ending surgery. This dude, Dak Prescott, boy, he is hurting this team. He's hurting the team. He killing us. But y'all Dak fanboys don't want to admit it. Yo, this JB the Cowboy fan. I appreciate y'all for listening to me. Like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go, Cowboys.
I'm glad. I will tell you this. If there's a human breathing that I've ever met that I'm proud that took advantage of me financially, I'm proud it's the one sitting to the right. And Dak. Yeah, check.